Andor, episode 8. So for the first time, I actually had to rewatch Rogue One. There were so many little Easter eggs and mentions and relations and characters and a lot of ties to Rogue One, which, in my humble opinion, might be the best Star Wars movie ever made. Andor arrives in NARKINA 5, which is this dystopian vision of what prison sentence could look like if fallen into the wrong hands. And Empire is known to use pretty drastic measures to enforce power and regime, and that's pretty much what we get in this version of the justice system. As we know from the previous episode, Andor is unlawfully sentenced to something he hasn't done. NARKINA 5, it's using this metal, it's called tungstoid steel, where the officers, in order not to be sort of reacted to it, they wear special boots. I call them Ugg boots because, like, come on. Like, you can see that, right? They look slightly ridiculous. What prisoners are building, so the factory essentially, my bet is that they're future K2SOs, maybe? Because maybe that's how Andor will become friends with the K2SO that we know from Rogue One. I mean, I don't know. The manager of the floor, to my surprise, because I think I remember reading about it, but I think I've completely forgot. Andy freaking Serkis. We have Andy Serkis on the screen and he's just amazing. He's a brilliant actor. And the whole factory bit, the whole prisoners, and it's very dystopian, very sad, very depressing scene. It holds you in a grip. It reminds me of a lot of horror films. You know, they have to work together in order to succeed. It has this very dark element, and it's a hard show to watch at this stage. I see how maybe children are not picking up on certain themes or certain nods that the series producing, but it's pretty hardcore. I found it extremely disturbing. There was this whole PORD, which is Public Order Resentences Decree, which Palpatine reissued, which essentially made every inmate sentence double, which of course is unlawful in any universe. Then we get to jump into Mon Mothma, where she's sort of discussing the same issue as what we're experiencing in NARKINA 5. Andor and Mon Mothma became two important characters of the series. It's no longer just Andor, in my opinion. If the series was called Andor and Mon, I think that would have given it more justice, because the series is very much also about her and how she starts the rebellion on her end. When we see Andor sort of searching for the ways out, searching for the ways to deal with the circumstances he's in, we get a cross-cutting scene of Mon in Coruscant doing the same loop. So yeah, it really makes you feel like she's doing her own sentence without actually being locked on the planet and doing deeds for Empire. Even though she's far more glamorous, of course, she has better food, better means to do it. She's very much a prisoner of the Empire, as much as Andor is. So Mon is a prisoner figuratively, and Andor is a prisoner literally. We get to see Toy Korma again, who's Mon's childhood friend. And you do sense this animosity, this distance between him and Mon's husband. And I think maybe he was sort of Mon's romantic interest of sort, or I don't know, they really don't like each other, and this surely will play a role, I think, later on. My bet is still on the husband. There's something very shady about him. So going back to Andor, Andor is a wanted man. He's officially on the wanted list for the whole Empire. Luckily, he's still under the alias of Keish? Something like that. Right at the beginning of the episode, we're with Cyril Karn again, and I had a little warm moment where we get to hear the robot, you know, it takes me back to a lot of Star Wars games I played, and I don't know, I was really happy to see that robot, which although I don't remember. But it was cute. It was a cute moment. So Daedra's questioning Cyril about the events and Andor's involvement and everything. And Cyril just wants to help, he wants to clear his name. And it's quite interesting to see how the Empire, they just want to do it all on their own. And they would have probably benefited so much more if they just teamed up. And it's like a complete opposite to how rebellion starts, how they operate, because rebels are built on the scraps, on literally deserters, and anything that's given or anyone that wants to join is pretty much welcome and needed. I think it's going to be quite interesting to watch the whole escape. There is this character called Melshi, who's also in Rogue One, and that was quite fun to see his comeback. But the biggest comeback was, of course, to see Saw Gerrera. One of the darkest and most brutal episodes, in my opinion. It was definitely a tough watch. So I'm looking forward to next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think, whether you love it, whether you hate it. Other than that, catch you next week. Bye.
There will be no rules going forward.